It's a sign at a bus station, a train station, or an airport, somewhere people travel. We have all seen and mostly ignored signs like this since they were first posted everywhere after 9/11. The original sign said, "Attention, do not leave your belongings unattended." We know what that means, even if the implications are scary. People with motives of their own have been known to try to slip something in suitcases and carry-ons when their owners aren't looking. But someone had scratched out 2 letters on the sign, B and E. It now read, "Attention, do not leave your longings unattended." So it made me laugh, and it made me muse. What longings do I have inside me that I've left unattended for a while? Do the things I long for reveal something God would have me attend to? Those can be long-term and very personal questions. In thinking about the man who was healed today in our gospel text, I was reminded of that altered sign. If belongings are tangible things that we possess, longings are intangible. They may be persistent, or they may be fleeting. And even though they are intangible, the strongest longings may still be powerful enough to direct our behavior. The man that Jesus heals has a strong and persistent longing, and the goal has become razor-focused. He needs no encouragement to attend to his one overwhelming longing. He has rested on this mat for 38 years and has put his faith in a superstition about this particular pool, that it would heal the one who entered it at the right time. As a side note, if you look at one of these texts with numbered verses, you may notice that there's no verse 4. It was taken out when biblical scholars realized that it was an explanation verse that was added by later scribes. But with that addition, the most expansive version of verses 3 and 4 would read like this. In these porticos lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed, waiting for the stirring of the water. For an angel of the Lord went down at certain seasons into the pool and stirred up the water. Whoever stepped in first, after the stirring of the water, was made well from whatever disease that person had. So there's our background. The man who was lying beside the pool, along with many others, believes that if the water becomes turbulent, and here is the key, and he gets in the water before anyone else, he will be healed. So he probably doesn't even look at Jesus. When Jesus asks him if he wants to be made well, he is focused on the water. This is the way to get well, the only way, he believes. And he has to be first. It is not a situation that makes for companionship among those who so desperately need healing. No matter how long they each have been waiting, no matter that they are all in the same situation, no matter that some might be worse off than others, all of them are working only on their own behalf to get into the pool. This story is ultimately about the fact that Jesus chose to heal this man on the Sabbath. Apparently, later rabbinical tradition taught that there were many activities that were banned on the Sabbath, including helping or healing people with chronic conditions. It was permitted to help or heal those in acute or life-threatening emergencies, but not if the condition was chronic. At the time of Jesus, it seems that some already felt this way. So, why would Jesus not wait until after dark, when the Sabbath ended, to heal this man who had been sick 38 years? Possibly sitting with the man until then, or returning to help him. Because he has a point to make. as he eventually says to those who are criticizing him, "My Father is still working, and I also am working." And of course, his transgression becomes more serious at that point. He's gone from being a simple sinner to being a blasphemer, calling God his Father. He's on a collision course with the authorities. And in the Gospel of John, Jesus doesn't do anything without full consciousness of the ultimate goal, his life and death. So, what can we take from this text? Well, we can all identify with this man because he is so human. He doesn't see the one offering him health and new life, resurrection life, we call it in this Easter season, because he is focused on what he believes he must do. It's as if he hears Jesus' question, "Do you want to be made well?" through a filter that translates the words as, "Do you want to help someone get you into the pool? Have someone help you get into the pool so that you get in first?" That's the only way he knows to receive healing. That isn't what Jesus means at all. Jesus will bypass the superstition and the competition. And when the man is healed, and Jesus tells him to take up his mat and walk, he does so without knowing who Jesus is and without caring to learn the name of the one who returned his health to him. In later verses, we learn that he has not been healed of his lack of gratitude. When he's confronted by those who are critical of Jesus, he first admits he doesn't know Jesus' name. Then after he sees Jesus again, he points out to those who are compiling the list of Jesus' apparent transgressions, maybe after 38 years, he just wants to be left alone. I wouldn't blame him, would you? Dr. Elizabeth Johnson, a working preacher, comments about this text. One might wonder why Jesus chose this particular man to heal out of all the invalids lying around the pool of Bethesda. Seems like he could have made a better choice. Yet here we see that the compassion and healing power of Jesus are not reserved only for those who are deserving. For those whose faith is great and respond to healing by believing in and following Jesus. Certainly, Jesus heals such people also. But here, Jesus heals one whose lack of faith leads him to cooperate with those who persecute Jesus, who even seek to kill him. She continues, John's gospel does not answer the question of why certain people are healed and others are not. But this passage makes it clear that healing is not a matter of having enough faith, as if that could be measured. That is not how Jesus operates. Clearly, Jesus does not heal for the benefits to himself in gratitude or praise or devotion. He heals people simply because this is the work of his Father. So, as we near the end of the Easter season, we hear a reverse kind of good news. Even if we, for example, can't meet Jesus' eyes because we are focused on something else that needs to happen, even if we would stake our lives on superstition, even if what makes sense in our life is to live by the motto, everyone for themselves, even if we would complain that no one helps us and this is why things aren't getting better, Jesus comes to us anyway. Do you want to be made well, he asks. Or maybe it's one of these versions. Do you want shalom, peace and wholeness? Or do you want to be returned to community? Or do you want to see how God is still working? Then he listens to our excuses, whatever they are, and there are many, but he has something to give us in spite of ourselves. His presence, and in his presence is resurrection life. When we don't recognize him, when we forget him, betrayed him, when we wander off again by ourselves, we can pray, as in this simple haiku prayer by John Stevens, who says, "Remember me, Lord. Bring me back to life again. Your grace restores me." And maybe we are reminded of what might be our deepest longing, that Jesus wouldn't forget us, even when we don't deserve it. We may leave that longing unattended, because Jesus is still working.